Hi, and welcome back to Panama for Real. Today we're with Warren Ferguson, our financial advisor for the channel. Welcome back, Warren.
Thanks for having me again.
You're welcome, you're welcome. Warren's going to help us today with a tricky one. Some people come to Panama and they want to buy a property, or they might want to buy some land and build a property. And I see this asked fairly often in Facebook groups, how easy is it to borrow money to finance a purchase of a property or building a property? Warren, it's not that easy here, is it? It's not the easiest route to owning a property.
While available, it's not common for, or the way it would be back from your home country, in the sense that there's certainly a very strict criteria to make sure that your ability to qualify for that mortgage. One, you're going to need a significantly higher down payment than what you're used to coming from your home country. And so if you can meet that criteria, you're also going to be stuck with a higher interest rate. And so it may not be justifiable when you have assets outside the country to actually pay that higher interest rate, when you may be able to refinance some of your existing assets abroad, or even take margin out of your investment accounts, etc., may be a cheaper option. So it's very important to be able to review those options before you move forward. But if you can check the boxes as far as verify the income necessary to service the debt, that you've got the necessary down payment, that you've found a property that meets the criteria of the bank, and be prepared to wait, because the banking process does take a little bit longer than what you would be used to for approval, and the seller of the property that you're buying is prepared to wait, then it's absolutely possible to get a mortgage. It just has to make sure that it fits for what you're trying to do, and you don't have better options to be able to do that. So take some advice.
There's the rub, isn't it? It is the time.
Yes.
Because things do move sometimes at what seems like glacier speed. In the banking sector here, and I guess they're being careful, but also there are idiosyncrasies to every banking system, and Panama does tend to be slower. So it isn't an overnight thing, is it? Because one thing, you've got to find a place you like, yes, which is so important, and a lot of people, and the advice that I would always give, and anybody with any common sense will give, is rent first and look for somewhere to buy. Don't show up with your suitcase expecting to find somewhere. You were telling me about someone who you once showed around some properties, who showed up with their suitcase hoping they could move in. So give yourself some time. Find the place that you like. Don't be pressured into liking a place that you wouldn't necessarily go for just because you want to fit in. There are mountain people and there are beach people here, aren't there? Yes. That's pretty much how it works. Or city people.
Or city people.
Like me. But I guess the thing is, take your time, but if you're going to try and get financing, add some more time.
Yes, absolutely. Make sure that you've talked to the banks and or the mortgage professionals that can offer that advice to give you the steps that are available. But you're right. Once you've decided where you want to live, to be honest, in today's world, rent's not a bad option, right? I think people grew up with that mentality that you needed to buy your house and be paying a mortgage because rent was just flushing money down the drain. But by the time you start to factor in, if it's a condominium or maintenance and upkeep on a home, certainly there's times that real estate has done very, very well for people, and that's been of recent in a lot of parts of the world, which is why people are fortunate enough to be able to sell those assets and move on with a nice little nest egg to be able to bring to their new home here. But if you're going to look at real estate, make sure that you're going to see it as a good investment that's got some liquidity and transparent, and then as far as financing goes, make sure you've looked at all of your options, including financing from home, because it could become a cheaper option with better interest rates that you're able to access out of your existing assets of refinancing, and then bringing the cash into a property that you would buy here. So it's just making sure you've done your due diligence.
And the last thing is, you do from time to time here see developer financing, don't you?
You do.
Which is great, but it can be very expensive.
Yes, of course. And there's a reason why whether that's built into a higher price that you've had to negotiate because of it. Sometimes it's not just in what you see as the cost, of the actual dollars and cents that they're putting out for you individually. You're actually at the same time not able to negotiate the price of the apartment or the property to that developer down to the level that you could have by not actually opting into their developer financing. So I would always think that it's best to look at both options.
Absolutely. Great. Thanks again, Warren. As always, great advice. See you on the next one.
Thanks.
Cheers.